Hi! Welcome to another hobby vlog. I'm Morten, and it's obviously my next hobby vlog. So this week has been another slow burn week for me, honestly. I have done a few things, mainly finishing finishing things I was working on before. So I will show you. First of all, I will show you my dwarves, which now I've completed both the Grimhammer warband, the warband of Warriors of Erebor, and their respective captains. So we'll show you that, and afterwards I will show you what I'm going to be working on for the next video, or the next couple of videos, we'll see. So let's just take a look. So, as promised, here is my Erebor Army so far. And it's obviously not very big yet, but it is essentially, except for Thorin, this is what I own of dwarves. Yeah, it's two warbands, one of Grimhammers and one of Warriors of Erebor. These you've obviously seen quite a lot of. Get a good shot there. Oh, yes, you've seen quite a lot of these. I love all of these models actually, and I think they look magnificent. Here's the new. You can see he's finally been based. Obviously, the ones in the background have now also been painted of the Grimhammers, and I think they look really, really good. I haven't really had any games. I've had one game that will come out this week actually, where I brought 300 points. The only thing that wasn't done was that this guy's base wasn't done at the time I filmed that. But besides that, you're gonna get to sort of see this army in kind of a battle situation this week. So I hope that you enjoy how they look. I'm going to a tournament in February, and I'm not certain what I should bring. I think it'll either be something dwarf related, assuming that I'll have whatever else I need to paint to get. I need to get to 600 points. I don't know if I'll be able to paint 600 points worth of dwarves before that. Otherwise, but it's either going to be dwarves or it's going to be Azog's hunters, and I haven't decided yet. What do you think? Which army do you think is cooler of those two? So here we have Grimhammers, a bunch of different beards. I love beards. Dwarves are good. Yes. There's not much more to say about these other than, let me show you what I have put together last night and will start working on this week. So here we have what I'm going to be working on next. And that is basically my first warband of Gundabad orcs. Now, so far I've just sort of put them together. I literally put the Gundabad orc spearmen together last night, as well as the captain. Now, what I noticed, because my intention is, and it still is, but it was to have to use 6 Uruk-hai to sort of add some variation to the Gundabads, and also to help me get started with them, really. So I'm planning to have 2 full warbands, and then you can have maybe 2 of the Uruk-hai models in one and 4 in the other warband or whatever. Whereas, because the next warband is going to be fully just Gundabad models. But what I noticed after putting these together was that the Gundabad orcs are actually slightly bigger than the Uruks, which came as a surprise to me, because well, you just wouldn't expect that, since you know how they hype the Uruk-hai as being like the biggest and baddest form of orc. But if we take these two, who are standing, both are standing completely upright up. Let's see. I think you can see that Gundabad seems slightly bigger. Certainly both in frame and in height. So you don't let the hat deceive you. And bearing in mind, the one on the left, the Uruk-hai here, is standing up straight, while this guy's going slightly forward. And yet, I still think this guy's slightly taller. And I even think you can kind of tell when they're just lined up that it's like the front line of swordsmen are actually smaller than the spearmen. Yeah, I think you can tell. Which just threw me. It threw me off, because I was not expecting that, and I guess it also threw me off because I'm wondering, oh, will this look weird once it's done? Should I still go forward with this? But I essentially think that once I have the second warband, and you can say have a mix of Gundabad and Uruk-hai swordsmen in each warband, it'll just look like that you have some that are sort of different heights. So I don't think it'll look as jarring as here's a front line of slightly smaller guys and here's a back line of slightly taller guys. So I'm guessing that it's going to be fine, and I like the idea of having these converted Uruk-hai mainly for variation in the troops. And I feel like I've done a good enough job with these what's it called, conversions, that they don't look like Uruk-hai. Like I've changed, like this guy I've changed a lot. He has a helmet that is similar to a lot of these Gundabads. I've given them orc scimitars and changed up their shields, and I personally think that I've done enough and that it looks, and they look quite cool. So we'll see with the height difference. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's really gonna matter when you look at it properly, and you have the army all painted up. But we'll obviously see. So yeah, if we take a look, here's the captain. I think get a good focus on him. Ignore the bellwork in the background. I guess maybe it's a bit too close to the light. He's so bright. There you go. So with this guy, sort of made the main base first, and then put him on top of it to add a bit of height. Not that he needs height, but it's always nice to have the heroes and captains be slightly higher up than the rest. While the other ones, I did glue them directly to the base, and then I'm going to put the sand around that. He's a really cool model as well, and I really like the shields. Actually, it's kind of a weird kind of shield. Like, I don't know how effective shields like this would be in real life that are shaped exactly like your arm. You can't really bend your arm while you're wearing the shield, but it looks cool. And it's cool actually that these Gundabad orcs are so big. I think they might actually. I sort of tested it. They seem to be around the same height as it's minimum, but it's almost the same height as Bolg in Azog, which is crazy. So I guess Gundabad orcs are just big in general. One would wonder why Saruman didn't get some of those instead of breeding his own, but that doesn't matter. And I really like the designs. You'll notice that one of them I decided to do without a helmet, so I gave him a hunter orc head, and as you can see, there is sort of a gap here that I will need to green stuff, and I'll need to green stuff on a lot of them, sort of just get tiny little gaps out of the way with green stuff and all that stuff. That I feel like that often happens with the fine cast, is that you need to use more modeling skills and green stuffing to make everything look perfect. And obviously with it being resin, there are a few bendy spears, which I will fix with hot water today. And I'm basically going to get all the modeling aspects of it out of the way as it is. So I'll get the sand on, I'll get the green stuff on them, and I guess that's it. I've already put rocks on, I just need to also put some sand on. So I will be doing green stuffing tonight, and I will be doing gluing sand on. And I think besides that, I'm going to sort of take it slow tonight, and I have a bunch of videos to edit, so that's what I'm going to be working on. So I don't think there's really much else to say about what I'm going to be working on. It's going to be Gundabads, and I'm excited to get some armored troops into my army of Hunter Orcs. Now, will you please comment below and say, what do you think about the home using proxies, like Uruk-hai proxies, as Gundabads? Keeping in mind that I'm not using, and I'm going to fill out most of the Gundabad army with the actual Gundabad models, but I just to have a few of them in for variation. And what do you think about the fact that they're slightly smaller? Do you think, would that bother you, or would it not? Most of my friends seem to be excited about the idea of having a bit of a mix, but I'm wondering what you, the commenter, thinks. And again, keep in mind, I am not just buying a bunch of Uruk-hai and then turning them into Gundabads to make it all cheaper, because I do like the real models a lot. So, and I like Uruk-hai a lot, but it's just a nice mix of the conversions and the real ones. And I've also tried, even with the real ones, to sort of make variations. Like if you take this one, you can see I've made a slight variation by chopping the top of the guy to the right's helmet off, So sort of only giving him the front spike, but not the top spike. Yeah, and I also, you know, made one of them helmetless, and you see this guy also made a slight change. That's this guy. I sort of also made his helmet smaller. Again, there's more variation. It's always nice that they don't look exactly the same. And I'll obviously be painting all of these in pale skin, because that's what seems to be the trend in the movies with the Grunabad orcs. Actually, I noticed in The Hobbit, it seems like Peter Jackson had a fondness of pale enemies. You could think about the three trolls, the goblins aren't goblins, and I'd say at least half the orcs you see in those movies are pale-skinned. So yeah, that has basically been my hobby vlog for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and please comment and just tell me what you think about my Grunabad orc ideas as I'm starting to work on them. Yeah, so support your hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming.